If you pick up a box of cereal, you can turn it around and instantly read the list of ingredients. But when it comes to the water flowing out of your kitchen tap, most of us have no idea what we're actually drinking. Public water utilities are legally required to send you a yearly report card detailing exactly what is in your water. It is called a Consumer Confidence Report, and it contains the data you need to understand your tap water. This document is a sample water quality report for a place called Gotham Public Water. It might look like a complex list of chemicals, but you only need to look at 3 columns to understand the whole thing. First is the detected level. This is the actual amount of a specific chemical the utility measured in the local water supply during the reporting year. Next is the MCL, or Maximum Contaminant Level. Think of this as the legal speed limit. It is the absolute highest amount of a substance the Environmental Protection Agency allows in your drinking water. Finally, check the violation column. As long as your detected level stays under that MCL speed limit, this column will say no. That tells you the water is legally safe to drink. To understand where these substances come from, we have to follow the water's journey. Long before it reaches your pipes, water flows over riverbeds, or sits in deep underground pockets of sand and gravel, what scientists call aquifers, dissolving minerals straight out of the earth. On your report, you will see substances like barium, manganese, sulfate, and chloride. These are largely naturally occurring elements. They are essentially dissolved rock. You might also see nitrate and sodium. While they occur naturally, they can also wash into rivers from farm fertilizers or road salt used during winter storms. Nature also brings in turbidity, which is just a measure of how cloudy or dirty the water is, and coliform, which is a common family of natural bacteria. The treatment plant monitors these closely to ensure they are filtered out. Even perfectly legal water requires a close read. Here, the sodium level is 94 milligrams per liter. That triggers no violation, but the report includes a special warning because people on severe sodium-restricted diets need to track every milligram they consume. Once the water reaches the treatment plant, the utility has to make sure it stays completely free of dangerous bacteria on its long trip to your neighborhood. To do that, they add chlorine. Your report shows a chlorine residual. That is the small amount of disinfectant deliberately left in the water to keep it actively protected while it travels through miles of dark underground pipes. But chlorine causes a reaction when it bumps into total organic carbon, which is just decaying leaves and plant matter floating in the source water. That reaction creates chemical leftovers called TTHMs and HAA5s. You will see these broken down into specific components, like chloroform. The plant has to monitor these individual leftover chemicals to ensure the total sum never gets too high. Seeing a no in the violation column for these byproducts means the utility is successfully balancing the equation. They are adding exactly enough chlorine to kill germs without creating dangerous levels of chemical leftovers. Finally, the water leaves the municipal mains and enters the internal plumbing of your house. This is where lead and copper enter drinking water. They usually don't come from the river or the lake. They flakes off the inside of older household pipes and solder. To prevent this, the treatment plant tests the pH and alkalinity of the water. By carefully adjusting the water chemistry before it leaves the facility, they ensure the water isn't corrosive, so it won't eat away at your pipes. This 90th percentile number is a snapshot of the typical home. If you lined up 100 houses they tested from the lowest lead level to the highest, this number represents the house 90 spaces down the line. It shows that the vast majority of your neighbors have results well under the limit. By managing the chemistry at the plant, the utility protects your health all the way up to the moment you turn on the faucet. Science is always advancing, which brings us to emerging contaminants. These are chemicals, like the industrial compounds known as PFAS, that researchers are actively tracking before permanent speed limits are written into law. This laboratory report shows PFAS results. Labs measure tiny amounts, so data includes qualifiers. J means a trace was detected but is too small to measure reliably. B means the chemical was also in the control bottle, so samples must be recollected. You will see these newer chemicals listed under unregulated contaminant monitoring. Water utilities test for these across the country to give the EPA the hard data they need to decide which of these suspects require strict legal limits in the years ahead. The Water Quality Report is a map of the water's entire life cycle. It shows the minerals it picked up from the earth, the disinfectants added at the plant, and the chemical balances required to keep your home's pipes intact. And the rules for reading it never change. Find the detected level, compare it to the MCL speed limit, and verify that the violation column says NO. You can read your own report right now. Open a web browser, type in your town's name, and add the words Water Quality Report. These ingredients are all public information, and now that you know how to read them, you can drink with confidence.